Hey again, everybody. So today I want to talk about a saying that I wrote down in my journal about a month ago, maybe a little bit more than that. And this was kind of when I was starting to really more get into myself of kind of the personal reflection. I think mostly because of the end of 2023. And I was doing a lot of reflection on if the path that I was on was the one that I wanted to try to stay on, and if being consistent with what I'm trying to do was worth it. And so the saying that I came up with that I wrote down is you are either you or nothing. And the nothing part of that sounds dramatic. I think most people would think, well, if I'm not me, I'm somebody. But I don't think that's really the case. And I think that there's multiple ways that you can kind of think about this, and you are either you, meaning that your unique human experience that nobody else can ever experience is entirely your own. And the way that you handle and react and face certain things, nobody else can replicate that. And everything is up to what your interpretation is, which is a very empowering thought when you think of it, because nobody can ever claim to have what you have. Everything that you've ever been through is only yours. And sure, people might have also been there for the same events, same people, same memories, but your reactions and your opinions and all of that is entirely yours. And I want to talk about this in the context of when we try to be somebody that we're not, or when people try to emulate to be something that they're not. And I think this often happens with people who want to be like somebody popular. They see somebody that they think is the person. They have everything figured out. Everything seems to go well for them. And of course, this happens mostly with celebrities and social media and all that stuff, because we only ever see the perfect good side of these people's lives. So we think, oh, I need to live like them if I ever want to claim to have this quote unquote perfect life, right? And of course, this is not the right way to think about it. And I also think that this occurs when we want to be something that isn't really in our cards. And not that we don't have the potential to reach, fame or richness or success, but that oftentimes we try to be something that we were not born to be. And this is more when it is going against our personal character. And this is something that I think happens most often with people my age, where I would say most people around me have a pretty decent moral compass. And they've been raised relatively right, and they have a good sense of right and wrong and the direction that they should be going in. But what often happens is, because of social pressures or online pressures or things like that, they are told that that's not them, that they should be more aggressive. They have to be mean to get what they want. They have to party, they have to drink, they have to do all of these things to fit in, to fit this shape, this mold that everybody's telling them that they have to fit, when the actual shape of themselves, of you, is not going to fit that mold. And you might try to force it in, but all that's going to do is cause pain. And so staying true to the true shape of your soul, you could say, is the only way to be entirely comfortable with who you are. And figuring out what the outline of that shape is difficult. And you're not going to have it completely figured out. And I certainly don't. And I'm 19 years old. I've only been alive almost 2 decades now. My birthday's coming up. So, I would say I don't really have enough experience to really definitively say what the shape of my soul is, what what the me is. But I know that I am me, and I always will only be me. And I've been given this opportunity to have this experience of life. So why would I want to live it as anybody else but me? Because that experience is uniquely mine. So if I'm always striving and trying to do all these things that everybody else does, or emulate this perfect life that I see this successful person has, I'm never going to know what success looks like for me. I'm never going to know what the quote-unquote perfect life looks like for me. And perfect is not the word to use for that, but an experienced, a loved life. And so I think that the last thing to think about with this is that nobody can compromise what your experience is. And don't let anybody do that to you, because we don't have to live it like somebody else wants us to. We don't have to listen to outside rules, outside factors in what our day-to-day looks like, in what our mentality looks like. And I say this kind of lightly because I know that my whole channel is kind of advice or my own experiences and my reflection of them. And in no way do I want it to come across as I'm telling you guys how you're supposed to live. But this is how I am, trying to get myself to live. And so to be careful though about, like you'll see Instagram pages or other YouTube channels or wherever, where they claim as these inspirational accounts, right? And they post inspirational quotes, all of that kind of stuff, which are great. If it's something that is getting you to think and reflect and change, then it's positive. But I think that oftentimes it's easy to kind of make that your entire thing. That your entire personality begins to revolve around that mentality, which not that constant improvement is negative, but that you often begin to lose sight of you because you get lost in chasing a bigger flame, a larger fire, a brighter star. And you might lose sight of the you that you are now. And it's important to keep track of the you that you are now. Because without knowing the you that you are now, when you do change and when you do become better, you'll have nothing to compare that to. So you won't know that you have become better. And this is also why journaling is so important, and keeping track of things is so important. But that is not to say that we shouldn't continue to look for that brighter star, look to grow that fire. We should always look for that, but we shouldn't stop every once in a while to look down and see where we are right now and kind of place a little trail marker there on the path that, hey, I was here at this point on this day. I was at this spot on the path. And then give it 3, 4, 5, 6 months down the line, you can look back, you can see where that trail marker is and see where you are now. And without that, you won't be able to compare what the distance is. So yeah, that's about it for kind of my thoughts on this. But you are either you or nothing. Your experience of life is entirely yours, and there's nobody who can ever claim to live life like you live life. And without you being you, what would you be? So don't give up your own experience for the sake of somebody else, or to live it like somebody else. Live it like you. And you might not know what that looks like yet, but just keep doing things how you would do them. And if it's not working, try something else that's within your control. And that's how we grow, that's how we change, is taking a different approach to either the same things or different things. But eventually you'll kind of get to a point where you know yourself well enough where you can analyze, okay, I know how I'm going to react to this. I know what my thought process is going to be going into this. How can I either improve this? What's a different way that I can think about this that's going to be better? Or how can I face this in a more true to myself, true to my morals type of way? So, yeah, kind of restating the same things over and over again, but that's about it. Overall message here is just be true to you and don't let anybody tell you how you're supposed to live your life. So, yeah, other than that though, things are still going pretty well. I took a rest day yesterday to try to heal my shoulder and my back. Feeling better. Supposed to hit back today, so I'll just go light and kind of see how it's feeling. But I've been tracking all my macros, been tracking out all my food. This week has been a great week for nutrition and diet. I've been pretty on top of it. Some of my family got sick. Luckily, I dodged it. I think I started to get sick a little bit earlier in the week, but dodged that, so very fortunate. And classes are going great. I'm on top of all the work, and I ran into an old friend last night from my hometown, which was cool. I don't know him super well, but he just moved into the apartment complex that I live in, so might be interesting to hang out with him. So yeah, but that's about it for now. So thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.